Let's talk about Legends, a brand new mechanic in Runeterra Reforged with none other than Riot Mort. Mort, tell me about Legends.
So Legends are this new system where before the game even starts, you go in and you pick the champion that kind of has the augments you're really excited about. And then when you go into the game, your augments, one of those will be based off the legend you selected.
It kind of feels a little bit like you're choosing a play style before you even load into the game.
It's not so much that, because a lot of the augments we've chosen for the Legends will still allow you to play any type of comp, but it's more to ensure that there's an augment that you're really excited about and can have a good game based off of.
All right, give me your personal favorite Legend of the set.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of the Earth Legend because it allows you to get that Tome of Traits early, which I like to use to try to get that 3 Piltover start and get that big T-Hex going and that big cash out, you know. That's always fun for content.
You can catch me taking Tom Kench and playing Rich Gets Richer every single game of Runeterra Reforged when it goes live in patch 13.12.